I mean, she did create the products in the shop when it was their shop. Oh my god.
Hey, time to see if that dude survived.
Oh, however, when Chanel petitioned the government, she was not aware that the Wertheimers, the business owners, anticipated that the Nazis would eventually steal their businesses. So they legally turned over control to a Christian French businessman who was on their side, but technically the Nazis were fine with him. They turned it over to him. So when the war ended, he turned it back over to them. He was like, here's your business back.
Neat. That's more business.
Yeah, good for them. But still, Russia was really scummy.
Okay, no, we did not fight Flemeth.
No, aren't we supposed to fight Flemeth at like the end?
Yeah, the game's very open-ended. It's pretty much like, okay, you gotta do this, you have 2,000 things you can do in whatever order you want, and you gotta do this and this.
Wow, she's one of the richest women in the world. She made $25 million a year from the scent of the perfume. You have an idea how much that was?
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know how much that was. I love these guys.
The fact that Regret's facial hair is darker than his head
Oh, they don't
hair.
really know what she was, but they found documents that she had an official Nazi spy number.
Ooh,
That doesn't necessarily mean that she was personally involved, but she had one. Some informers had numbers without being aware that they were informers, but they're not sure if that's the case with Coco Chanel. Considering her...
Wait, how do they have numbers without being informed that they're informers?
Maybe they're the ones being spied on? I don't know.
The best equipped army Ferelden has ever seen.
But she worked with a lot of Nazis.
Oh wait, cool, I can change equipment in the camp?
I think maybe at one point they're probably just gossiping. And because they got the information from them as a way to organize it, they were given numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, she paid for a lot of the living expenses and fees of Nazis that were tried during the Nuremberg trials and stuff. So even as they were being indicted and charged criminally, she was still like in support of them.
Okay, then yeah, that's... I would say that's fairly conclusive.
Oh my god, Coco Chanel. Dinklage. Her lover. Coco Dinklage.
She probably make him take her name.
Gunther Chanel. That sounds nicer than
Yeah.
Like, the Wikipedia page is nuts, because at first it reads as, oh, a girl from France, she liked clothes, she started off this, and it's a regular fashion, and then all of a sudden, Nazi spies, not just like Nazism, but the upper echelons of Nazism, like, the creme of the, cream of the crop type dudes. That, where is it? Here's a quote from the Dinklage guy. Where is it? Hello? She was a person who knew Churchill significantly to undertake political negotiations. She knew a lot of very important political figures. Wow, this is like a movie. They undertook a very, it's very much like a movie, like in personal stuff too. Like, they both wanted Coco Chanel to come with them on this Operation Model Hut. And they were like, how do we get her to come? And this dude was like, invite this Italian woman. Coco Chanel is attached to her because of her lesbian vices. And it's very, movie. It's very, yeah, get the girl and come. Like... to tantalize her.
I love reading about old, gay or bisexual public figures because I didn't really know they existed. I didn't know they existed until I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
So therefore, they didn't exist before, like 1960,
Yeah.
give or
Because
take.
then you don't start learning they existed. You know what I
Yeah.
love? Reading any old article, and not just gay or whatever, but like when you realize you're reading code. Like the way that they talk about things in old articles.
Yeah,
it's
they don't
very
say,
cute.
they don't use words. They say, like, had an affair with.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
It's very cute. Like the way they talk about like women and the way they they use phrases, but
Like,
you know what they mean.
Did you know Tallulah Bankhead and Billie Holiday dated?
No.
Like, I had no idea.
Did you know? Do you know what? And I never knew this, and it like shook me to my core. Really did, because my dad is really into history, like super into history. Of multiple bookshelves. Like history's always been a huge part of my life. My dad is, I don't say he's not a historian, obviously, but it's his thing. And my dad always talks about who he considers, and who a lot of people consider, one of the most important figures in the American Revolutionary War, who like completely turned this war around. It's like he came to the USA and he took like our militias, and turned them into an army. General von Steuben was gay. That's why he came to the US. He got kicked out of France for being gay. So he came over here. He got kicked out for being, and then he came here and he's like, I'll help you
The
guys.
whole country.
Like, literally? Like, we have streets and schools named after that man, and I did not know. Until maybe a year ago. And it, like, shook me to my core that that's nuts that I did not know that. But it's also nuts that I have to be told that.
Yeah.
Like, I've said this before, probably, but, like, I don't, like having to tell people about my, like, a casual admission of, like, not being straight is not something that's fun to do. And I wish I didn't have to do it. Like, what was I going to say? Like, I don't care if people don't know. But I don't like being assumed to be straight. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that you have to tell people that you are straight or, like, cis or you're anything until proven otherwise is really upsetting to me.
I could definitely
That, like,
see
I had to
that.
learn General von Steuben was gay because everyone just assumed he was straight. No one thought it was, like, open-ended until we found out otherwise. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
nobody is open-ended. You always just assume things. Keep people open-ended. You don't know what someone... I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know, just...
You have to learn historical figures or otherwise. And it's like, it shouldn't be a big deal. It's like, oh, sure, he's gay, whatever. But it is a big deal because if I didn't know it until, like, a year ago, people did it deliberately, probably, like, tried to hide it, which is weird. I don't know. I didn't know Billie Holiday, but, like, didn't know they do it. That's cool. Things are cool. General von Steuben, like... I kept thinking about, there's a von Steuben lane in Europe, and I know that because I know a family that lives on that street, and my first thought was, wow, they would probably move out if they knew. Like, that was my
And
first
that
thought.
is, in my opinion, pretty awful.
I know, because he was such a cool guy, but it would honestly, like, ruin their perception of the street.
Yeah.
I know who those people are.
I was on this site, I think it was just called, like, bisexual.org, and it was literally, like, all, like, really old public figures that were bisexual. And the bar on, like, the scroll bar was, like, this big.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
It was tiny.
Yes.
So, but, like, the amount of people was huge. But, like, Marlon Brando?
Like, yeah, I knew about Marlon Brando. Well, there was a lot of, like, old stars. Who was it? Errol... Not Errol Flynn.
Marilyn Monroe, maybe.
Yes, Marilyn Monroe for sure. I knew that. Angelina Jolie.
Drew Barrymore?
Really?
Yeah.
I know Angelina Jolie. Oh, let's look it up.
Megan Fox, although she did
Yes.
say she would never date anyone that was bisexual.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
That's...
Is it the oh, they'll cheat on me?
I think it was like, oh, because I never want to date anyone that had been with a man.
I'm sure you'll be.
Okay.
Which is like,
Would she date
she would never date like a bi woman, I think.
or a bi man?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's really.
definitely
That's
weird.
weird.
I said it
really
bypassed
like.
her.
It's so weird, like learning that stuff too, because I'm very
Yes.
relaxed about it. Like the way I view romance is really like, it's not super structured. It's just like, if you want to spend more time with someone than someone else because you feel very strongly about them and they make you feel a certain way, then go for it. And like that's it for me.
I like that
That's it's,
description.
It's never been like, if you want to make a structured, so you're like, I'd love to get married someday. But like, it's not like, not in that structured courtship kind of.
Yeah.
I don't
I actually
know.
know someone from my college who's pretty much, who she even stated early on in our friendship, is like, oh yeah, I forgot what we were talking about, but I took the conversation of, yeah, she doesn't, it's like, oh yeah, you don't want to get married. I was like, okay, whatever. She's like, wow, I'm used to guys flipping out over that.
That's sad.
I was like, oh, I'm kind of curious, what's your rationale? And she's like, oh, hey, yeah, we're dating, this is nice, but I want to get a legal document.
Finding it
I want to
forever.
get some laws involved in this.
Yeah, I can
Possibly
say like,
some laws that if we don't sign something at the start of this marriage, I might not keep all the stuff I came into the marriage with.
yeah.
Because if you're living together, it's the same experience. It's just the way
You know
that
what
you're
I
bound to
hate?
each other.
You know what I hate? Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Is like the worst expression ever.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
How does that... Wait.
it's like it's supposed to like discourage like premarital relations and living together, because like they consider marriage like the binding act. So it's like, why buy the whole cow? Why get married when you're getting the milk for free? When you're getting the benefits of being married without actually being married, which is weird to me because this actually came up yesterday at the wedding. They called. First they were like, "Oh, everyone over 16 who's single, come up and catch the bouquet," and I didn't want to go up, and I wasn't going up. But I looked around the room and realized, shoot, it's gonna be me or like no one. There was like no one there. It was like, so I had to go up. So I went up, and it was embarrassing, whatever. And then like I did it, and I sat that back down, and they called the guys up, and I was like, man, I wish Josh were here, so we would have to embarrass him to go up too. And then I was like, oh wait, shoot, he's not single. And like my dad looked at me, well, and my mom, they were like, no, he's single. And I was like, no, him and his girlfriend just celebrated their 1 year anniversary. Like, they're going out. And like, they're both like, oh, yeah, I guess. And nobody considered dating, they considered that single.
What?
Why?
And I was like, I don't know. They were like, oh, they understood, like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. That's not.
You guess?
And I'm like, yo, at least to me, when you date someone, you are committed to them
Yeah.
100%. To me, there's no difference between dating and, I don't know, I date to marry. That's me. I know not everyone does, and that's the thing, but like, even if you're not dating to marry, you're dating for some semblance of commitment, some semblance of this is us.
Oh, yeah.
It's so weird to me where they're like, oh, your brother's single. Like,
I don't know how to tell you this.
yeah, he's been dating someone for over a year. Anyway, so video games.
All
So
right.
weird.
The Guardian of the Ashes. Are we just gonna spill his blood or see if he'll help us?
You know, he sounds in. Maybe if we ask nicely.
You have come to honor Andraste, and you shall, if you prove yourself worthy.
I feel like he could be a nice guy.
Cool, huh?
Alright, we're gonna go the...
Don't ask if I have to fight, because if he assumes that worth equal, like, oh, you think to prove your worth means to fight, you're not an honorable man. What if he's not 2 or 3?
Then you will not come to the ashes. It is not my place to decide your worthiness.
Oh, okay, you would probably say that. I was like, oh, let's fight.
Yeah.
If you are found worthy, you will see the urn and be allowed to take a small pinch of the ashes for yourself.
Oh, that's nice. I'm glad they are.
If not,
Oh yeah, Billy Joe Armstrong.
Yeah. Let me see them.
I don't know. He doesn't seem like a good
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
with 2.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
the gauntlet tells the true pilgrims.
Josephine Baker. That's right.
Who's that?
Oh, she was the coolest. She was like an old singer
Oh,
from the 50s.
yeah,
she had a pet
yeah.
You
tiger.
shall see how your soul
I like her.
fares.
That is insane to have a pet tiger.
You know, in like the 50s,
Before you
50s, I don't know,
go,
20s.
there is something I must ask. I see that the path that led you here was not easy. There is
Oh, it's
suffering
Lily
in your
Banks.
past.
Oh yeah.
Your suffering.
Oh, right.
Suffering
The
of
whole
others.
political intrigue that threw us out.
Raven's machinations
Yeah.
led to Trian's
I was interested
death
in that.
and your exile. You allowed this to happen.